Hey guys, I'm back with another book talk, and this is the first book in this series that I am currently rereading, and I'm super excited. So yeah, I was totally off center for that beginning part. And that book is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and if you haven't read this series, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, how have you not read Percy Jackson? Like, it's all anybody ever seems to talk about, and it's like freaking everybody's like #1 series, like besides Harry Potter, of course. So, like, how have you not read it? Like, I'm so confused if you haven't read this yet. Anyways, for those of you who have probably been living under a rock for the like majority of your life, this book is centered around a boy named Percy Jackson who finds out he's not exactly like every other kid out there. He is part god, or as they're called, demigods. So he has one godly parent and one mortal parent, and he has powers and all this crazy stuff. And so, like, demons and all these monsters are always after him. These monsters are always after him, like, no matter what, because he is not mortal and he can see through the mist that is what keeps all of us normal people from seeing what is actually going on. He ends up getting sent to this camp called Camp Half-Blood, where all these demigods go and train for the summer, and it's just amazing. Like, it's so good. Like, how can you not like it? How can you not have read this book is like my real question here. So, yeah. I reread this book because the first time I read this book, I read it in 7th grade. It was our class pick. Well, actually, the teacher picked it. But we read it, and I fell in love with it. After that, I had to go buy the second book, and then the third, fourth, fifth. And I've read up to the second book in the second series. And then I got really, really busy, and I just haven't been able to finish it. And I decided, since, you know, Rick Riordan has a brand new series book coming out in, I want to say it's May, but I feel like that's really, really wrong. I think it's the springtime, though, I know for sure. The Apollo Trials, which takes us back to Percy Jackson. I'm so, like, flipping behind in the series. I just need to get caught up. I just need to reread and then finish reading and get completely caught up because I'm so far behind. I haven't finished the Heroes of Olympus series. I haven't even read the Kane Chronicles. I haven't read Magnus Chase, which we know ties in to Percy Jackson because Annabeth is in the beginning of the story with her dad looking for Magnus, who happens to be her cousin. So I know he's gonna find a way to tie this all up. And then this new series is back in Percy Jackson's area, and he's gonna, like, I have this theory that Rick Riordan is going to find a way to connect all of his series into one epic multi-series thing, and it's going to be flipping amazing. Because I know he's written novellas that cross over Percy Jackson and the characters from the Kane Chronicles. So, yeah, this is all going to connect together somehow. Like, I don't know how, but he's going to find a way. Because in the Heroes of Olympus series, he found a way to connect this whole other camp that we didn't even know existed. And it's all going to come together. It's all going to come together somehow. That's why I'm currently rereading the series. And on top of that, it's like one of my, like, #1 series, like, of all time. Like, I just love it that much. So, as you can tell, I am currently a freshman in college now. It has been a really, really, really long time since I read this book. And I know it's middle grade, but I still loved it. Like, I zoomed through this book. It was just so good. Like, I ate it up, and I just love it. And, like, I missed this world. I missed these characters. I missed these adventures. I missed everything about Percy Jackson. And I feel like the void that I've had in my life lately has finally been filled because I have reread this book, and I'm currently rereading the series. It's being filled. I'm filled with happiness and joy because I get to re-see Percy Jackson and all his friends and everything, and I get to relive the adventure once again. I really, really love this series, and I love how Rick has taken something that a lot of kids struggle with, like dyslexia and ADHD, and found a way to make you a special person. Like, not be looked down upon because of your disability, but turns out it makes you, you know, a hero. Like, your ADHD is your reflexes for when you're fighting, and you're dyslexic because it means you just have hard times reading English, but like Greek is super easy for you because your brain is ready to process Greek lettering, not so much like regular English. And I just love that he takes these like very common disabilities that people have and shows that even though you may be different and you may have problems, like, you can be anything. Like, you shouldn't let that stop you. And I just love that that's the message that this book has in it. And to be honest, when I first read this, like, I wasn't thinking that. I'm a little 7th grader and I'm being forced to read this for my class, and I'm gonna have to take a test over it to get AR points so I can like pass my English class. So I'm not thinking about the message that is put into this story. But now that I'm older and I've gone back and reread it, like, I've picked up on it, and I'm like, you know, I really, really love that he tied that into. And he originally wrote this story and these characters for his son because his son is dyslexic and has ADHD. And he wanted to give his son something that shows that just because, you know, things are harder for you doesn't mean you can't amount to something great. Just because, you know, you have to put in a little extra study time and like maybe reread the chapter 3 or 4 times to figure out, you know, get all the words correct. And you just have to work harder at things doesn't mean that you can't be great. It doesn't mean you're any less than anybody else. I forgot how freaking sassy Percy is, and I freaking love it. Like, I missed his sass, like I really did, and just him and Clarice going at it is always funny. I love them as rivals. Like, they're just, oh, it's so funny. And then Percy and Annabeth, they're just so cute, and I just love them, and shipping so hard right now. Like, I'm just like, I love this book, I love it so much, and then I'm just like so sad at the same time because I'm like, oh my god, they haven't like dealt with their feelings for each other yet, so they're just kind of friends, and you know something's gonna happen in this book. Like, it's coming later on, but you know it's the first hints. Something's gonna happen in here later on in the series. I just love all these characters. I love this world. I feel like I'm already saying this like a million times, but I really do. Like, these characters are just so different. I love this book. Like, I can't even like figure out how to piece this together. I'm just in love. I love that it's such a fast read. Like, it's, you know, a normal sized book, but I think I read this in like 5 days this time. Like, I zoomed through it because like immediately from the beginning, every one of Rick Riordan's books catches me, and like I can't put it down. Like, I have to keep reading. I have to get to the end. I have to get to the next book. I gotta find out what happens. And I love it. And it's partially because his like beginning lines of all of his books just are something crazy and random and catches the reader's attention. Like, he is the master of hooks. He has the best hook lines and pulls you in and doesn't let you go until the book's over, and then makes you want to go buy the second book. I missed his writing. I missed all the characters. I missed Grover. Grover is one of like my favorite characters, like, you know, besides Percy and Annabeth, because they're everybody's favorite characters. But I personally love Grover. I think he's so cute. He reminds me of like a puppy dog. Like, I just love him. He's so cute. I feel like this story could be plausible. Like, what if this is real and the mist is really a thing and there really are demigods out there, and this is actually some guy's memoir about like his adventures as he was younger, growing up as a half-blood, but it turned into like this awesome this middle grade fiction when really it's like his real life. Like, it could have happened. Like, I know I'm like full like out there in this right now, but it could have happened. Like, this could plausibly happen. What if the mist is real and we're all just mortals. If that is the fact, I'm going to be super upset, because then that means I'm just mortal, and I would love to be a half-blood because I want to go live in Half-Blood Hill in a cabin. I want to enjoy camp, and you know, it's not fair. And then on top of that, you know, libraries and like I guess other not corporations, other groups are putting together these like really fun summer camps for kids. Like, I know there's a Half-Blood one, a Camp Half-Blood camp, and I'm super upset because I think the age limit is 16, and they created it after I had already passed 16, and I'm super upset because I want to go to Camp Half-Blood. I would have had my parents sign me up for that camp in like a heartbeat, but of course I'm too old, so you make all the fun stuff after I'm too old to do it, which I think they should do like an older version for like older people, because I know there's a Harry Potter one here. It's like an hour from where I live, I think is where they held it they held it like 2 years ago, but they have a Harry Potter camp thing they do, and it's for adults, and like you can pick the certain days you want to go or whatever, and you do like you do like a potions class and a spell class and all this stuff. And I knew a guy that went to it in one of my classes in high school, and he said it was really cool. So like they should do this, but for like older people, so me and my roommate can go and we can totally geek out together, because who doesn't want to hang out with a whole bunch of other geeks from your same fandom and geek out and pretend you're actually characters in a story? Because I would die so hard. But if you're not going to do that, maybe I can see if I can become a camp counselor for this, because I still want to be part of this. Anyways, that is it for this book talk. I'm sorry I kind of just like ranted all over the place, but I really love this book. I love the world, I love the characters, and it's just fantastic. So I'm gonna go The Lightning Thief by Percy Jackson. The Lightning Thief by Percy Jackson.